What's up, guys? It's Taylor Timothy with the Marketing Life podcast, and today I'm going to be talking about the ebook that I just released. I'm super excited about this, so let's dive in. So the first thing I want to talk about is, why did I write this ebook? My whole goal is, me and this podcast and everything, is to help businesses get more leads, more sales, and basically I just kind of give a little step-by-step process on what you guys need to do to implement these things into your online business. So the first thing that I go over with you guys is your website. And I talk about making sure you have the right theme if you're using WordPress, making sure that you have good hosting, making sure you have a consistent look and feel across the board, the pixels that you guys need to have in place when you're building your websites. I talk about Google site speed tests. I talk about tracking and using thank you pages and linking your opt-in forms, your CRM, using the Facebook Messenger chatbot. And obviously I talk about the no-brainer things that you need to have on your website. So that's the first thing in the ebook where I go over, is basically the concept of your website and the things that you need to have in place. The next thing I go over is messaging, and messaging that you have on your website. So the first thing that I talk about is, it's called a USP, and it's called the unique selling proposition. All of your websites, all of your landing pages need to have some sort of unique selling proposition. And in this ebook, I go over some simple unique selling propositions that you guys can have on your website. The next thing that I go over is, can your website pass the 5-second test? Now, a lot of people are like, what's the 5-second test? So when you land on the web page, on that landing page, in the first 5 seconds, can you verify what you are looking at, the website you're on, and the offer that the website is offering to you? A lot of websites actually don't do this, so it's really important to make sure that your website can pass what I call the 5-second test. The next thing I talk about is social proof. Now, what's social proof? Show that you guys actually have raving fans. So on your landing pages with your messaging, make sure you have some sort of testimonial or social proof on that landing page as well. And that's the wrap on messaging. This next one's probably a fan favorite. Obviously, Facebook and Instagram. So I go over about creating your Facebook page and making sure that your Facebook page actually reflects your website. So have a lot of the same information on your Facebook page as if it were your website. The next thing I talk about is making sure you use the Facebook pixel, and making sure that pixel's on your site, installed properly and across your header. The next thing I talk about is creating your audiences and finding your audiences that are going to help generate more leads and sales for your business. Then the next thing I talk about in the book is creating custom conversions, and making sure that you're actually tracking the sales from your Facebook ads. And last but not least, I talk about creating ads for Facebook and your Instagram marketing. I talk about all the different types of Instagram and Facebook ad types that you can run for your business and where they are located while they're running on these different platforms. And the last thing I talk about is, in this section, is making sure you give your ads time. You know, one of the things that I've experienced running Facebook and Instagram ads, instantly the next day after you've set up your ads, you want to touch them, you want to change them. But the reality of it is, you need to make sure you give these campaigns time. Generally speaking, I give my ads 3 days before I decide if I'm turning them off or making any changes. So give your ads and your campaigns time. And we'll wrap that up with Facebook and Instagram. The next thing we're going to talk about is my personal favorite. I personally don't think this platform has hit its all-time high yet, and some people may think it has, but we're talking about YouTube. So when creating a YouTube channel, it's very important that you're creating a channel that's going to educate people. So for me in marketing, all my content that I release on my YouTube channel should be related to marketing and making sure that it educates people about marketing, how they can generate more leads, how they can generate more sales, how they become famous, whatever it is. I need to educate people about online marketing. Number 2 on this list in my book, I go over talking about linking your YouTube channel to AdWords and analytics. A lot of times people don't do this, and you need to be doing this because this is going to give you the ability to track your data and analytics. And the next thing it's going to do is going to help you create remarketing lists in AdWords. So people that have watched your YouTube videos, you now can go and retarget those people. The third thing we talk about is ranking your videos. Now, what do I mean by ranking? The ranking process is super simple, but it's basically doing SEO on your videos and making sure that you have the right headlines, the right keywords in your video, throughout your video, to make sure you're ranking your video for those keywords when people are searching on YouTube. The fourth thing I talk about is creating a content schedule, making sure that you're being consistent when creating your YouTube videos and continually posting videos on YouTube. This is just going to help build your channel, build your brand, build your business, and better yet, generate more leads and sales for your business. So we'll wrap up on YouTube. The next thing I talk about is Google Ads or AdWords. Obviously, right now there's like this transition and change in names, but Google Ads. So Google Ads, I talk about paid search and making sure that you're running traffic via paid search and search terms. You know, these can be very expensive for your business if you're dealing in some industries. Some industries you're paying $250 per click. Some industries you're definitely not paying that much. So you do have to be aggressive in this area, but I talk about paid search. The next thing I talk about is the display network. So a lot of times the display network can be a lot cheaper to run your ads there. But definitely from my experience, I've seen a lot of display networks work the best for remarketing. So I talk about this in my ebook under the display network. The third thing I talk about is call-only campaigns. Now, setting up campaigns on AdWords, going after specific, phrases such as carpet cleaning near me, HVAC near me, going after these search terms on mobile devices and getting people to call your business directly. Now, this is huge for the service industry in my experience, so it's really important that a lot of the service industry people are running these call-only campaigns. The fourth thing I talk about is my all-time favorite, YouTube ads. So I talk about YouTube ads and talking about creating engaging content for your YouTube ads. I also go over how YouTube ads work. So basically how YouTube ads work is like if your audience went to your website and now they're over on YouTube watching Beyonce's All My Single Ladies, basically you can run an ad in front of these people before they watch that video. So these are super powerful to be running YouTube ads. The next thing we talk about is Gmail ads. So Gmail ads is the ability to run ads inside of people's Gmail inboxes. I've seen these be very effective as well. A lot of times they're not as expensive, but I do talk about running tests and making sure you're running tests on these Gmail ads to decide if they work for your industry. The next one I talk about is Google Shopping ads. Basically, someone searching for certain products on Google, ads can pop up showing them the different products that you are searching for and selling. And last but not least, I talk about the Universal app. Now you can run ads inside different platforms to promote your app and get more downloads for your app. Me personally, I have not ran any app-specific campaigns, but I promise you running Google Ads is just going to generate more leads and more sales for your business. So wrapping up on Google Ads. Email is the next thing I go over in this ebook. And the first thing I talk about is being fun and engaging in your emails. Can't tell me how many boring email sequences I've read Come on, guys. You got to be fun and engaging. I go over the concepts of being fun and engaging in your emails. The next thing I talk about is actually creating a email drip sequence. A lot of people, build their list, but they're not dripping on people. They're not sending a constant email out to these people, educating them about their products and services. And last but not least with email is being consistent. A lot of people feel like you can email people too much, but the reality of it is if these people like your product, they like your service, at some point they're going to buy. So like in one of the past episodes, me and Wes talked about how Jace Vernon was constantly emailing people, and 9 months later, what happened? His client picked up the phone and called him and said, I'm ready now to buy your product. So make sure in your emails that you're just being consistent with people and educating them and being fun and engaging. That's the end of email. This next one's a fun one. I talk about content creation and I give you guys a list of ideas for your content creation. A lot of times I've dealt with clients and they're like, I don't know what to talk about. And so I give you guys a bunch of content ideas of what kind of content you can create for your business. The other thing I talk about is how I personally believe that content is king. You hear that phrase all the time, content is king. But I personally believe quality content trumps anything. So making sure you have good quality content, this is just going to help your business even that much more. And then the next thing I talk about is finding the easiest way for you to create content. For me personally, I'm not a huge writer. This was very hard for me to write this ebook, but like creating podcasts, shooting videos, different things like that, for me, that is the easiest way for me to create content. So find out what is the easiest way for you to create content and leverage that. And that is the wrap on the content creation. This last one, a lot of people say this one is dying, but I personally, again, believe you should be doing all of these things I'm talking about. So we're going to talk about a little bit on search engine optimization, also known as SEO. So the first thing I go in through and talk about is finding keywords that you want to rank for. So if you're in some sort of industry, carpet cleaning, obviously you're going to want to rank for carpet cleaning near me. Go find those keywords that you're trying to rank for and start creating blogs on them. The next thing I talk about is keyword combination. And now what I mean by that is if you're writing about carpet cleaning, basically what you have to be doing is writing about carpet cleaning with soap and adding different combinations of your keyword inside of your blogs. The next one I talk about is making sure you have the keyword inside of your URL and making sure that it's actually there. The next thing I talk about is making sure your blog post or your article is plus 1,500 words. The more words, the better. But 1,500 from a lot of sources have said that 1,500 is kind of the key where you need to hit. Making sure that you have content on your post is the last thing I talk about. Now, what do I mean by that? So the more content you can post, so if you have words, videos, images, sound bites, a lot of times your blogs rank a lot higher with when you have a lot of different content on your post. So that is SEO. We'll wrap that up there. One of the last things I talk about is just some side notes that a lot of people need to understand when running online marketing campaigns. So some of the side notes I have is like you need to know how much you can spend to obtain a client. So if your product or service costs, let's say $10,000, you actually need to know how much it costs you to obtain that $10,000 client. So if you're running Facebook ads, AdWords campaigns, and you're spending $1,000 to obtain a $10,000 client, you are going to spend that money all day long. So it takes a lot of time to figure this out sometimes for some companies, but that's one thing you need to know. The next thing you need to know is like, what's the lifetime value of your customer? So let's say a carpet cleaning company, you might have them call you for 20 years straight, and once a year they get their carpets cleaned. So like, what's the lifetime value of that customer? It's going to be $100 every single year. So if you get that customer in the door once, then you're going to have them again for 20 years. So finding that out is super important. The next thing you have to realize that is number 3 is online marketing takes time. You have to give campaigns time. The more data it gets, the smarter it gets, and the better results you can produce. That's number 3. Number 4 on my side notes is making sure you test. And did I say test? And did I say test again? So you got to be testing all the time. Don't be afraid, and sometimes you got to just launch those campaigns and see what kind of data you're getting. The 5th thing I go over is video. Video is one of the highest ways to convert your clients. Video's hot right now. So a lot of times videos convert a lot better than text images, but you're going to have to test that for your business, your product, your service, because sometimes the images might convert that much better. I don't know. You're going to have to find that out. Number 6, if you don't have money to spend on online marketing, find a way to make it happen. And the reason why I say that is because online marketing is going to give you a lot of data and a lot of information real quick about your business. You could spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on SEO, and it's going to take a very long time to learn about your business. Versus paid advertising, you're going to find out a lot sooner and a lot quicker how people are reacting to your product. So that's the wrap on side notes. So that's the end of my ebook. So if you guys want this ebook, you can feel free to go over to taylortimothy.com/free-online-marketing-ebook, and you guys can get this ebook for free. I also have an online marketing checklist. If you just go taylortimothy.com/online-marketing/, basically you can get your checklist as well. It's a checklist that I have that literally takes you from start to finish on implementing everything you need for your business. So that is the wrap on these free things. I hope these things help you guys. I promise you guys, if you follow these steps, you will generate more leads and sales for your business. So that's the end of this podcast, episode number 12. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at taylortimothy.com. Peace.